Our industry does an amazing job of making presentations, showing you historical rates of returns, but never truly communicating the risk that you're taking, and most importantly, what should you expect from this portfolio? You know, we give you portfolios, we say this is what it's done in the past, but what kind of risk and what kind of downside should you expect? And what is the probability of a loss based on historical data of this stuff we give you? So we say put 20% here, 30% there. So I built this analytical calculator called the Current Portfolio Analytics. All you need to do is go in and let's say you put in a $100,000 portfolio and go in and literally put percentages. Don't worry about the names of the mutual funds. Most mutual funds or most ETFs trade within their category. Again, it's all the broad-based thinking, the broad-based strategy that matters in our business as well. And put in what you have here. And I put in 12% here in U.S. Government bonds, and I'll put in 10% in municipals. But I want to make a point. At this very moment, okay, there's no way in the world you're going to see the returns going forward on those that will be embedded in these returns. So you have to look and say, well, about 22% of the return I'm about to see will never be replicated because interest rates are so low from this point forward. And here we are, you know, in the early part of 2013. So I just wanted to make that point. But go ahead and put in different amounts of money in each one of these categories. It'll add up down here on the bottom, as you can see. And I'll put 10% in Europe, and I'll put 5% here, and then you come over here. And then these sectors, you might have some individual stocks that represent a sector. For instance, you might have Johnson & Johnson. In the drug sector, we don't have the individual stock, but most stocks are going to trade within these broad-based categories. These returns go back over a 10-year period. Anything shorter than that isn't necessarily statistically relevant, and anything longer than that isn't statistically relevant either because we've been through a couple business cycles. But this will just give you a general idea of what to expect from this pile of stuff that your advisor gave you, okay? Meaning what this portfolio is. And this is very good. So anytime an advisor comes to you and says they want to get your portfolio or do something with your portfolio or make a recommendation, go to this calculator and put them to the test, or her. Because in this case, that pile of stuff would have yielded you a 7.8% rate of return over the last 10 years. Nice rate of return, but look how much risk you took to get that. If your standard deviation is more than 80% of your historical rate of return, you're taking too much risk. Your variance drag phantom tax, you want that to be 1 or lower. This is basically 2 times higher than it should be. And if an advisor gave you what I just showed you, the probability of any loss over the next 12 months, starting from this day forward, whatever time period you're looking at this, from this moment, it's 30% based on historical data. So let me say that again. The probability of any loss in your portfolio based on historical data from this moment forward is 30%. And the amount of money at risk, if in fact you put $100,000 in, the maximum amount of money at risk is $26,000. Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio, and that range of returns in this particular portfolio allocation, you would have had just as good a chance, and listen to how I say this, just as good a chance of losing 21% of your money as you did making 36.99%. And no one can tell you what is going to happen. So that's what that gets you. So go ahead and use this, and then if it isn't right, if it's broken, you might want to give us a call. All right? So again, I'm putting the facts out there, getting away from all the salesmanship. Use the calculator, determine if your portfolio is efficient, if it's broken, and if it needs to be fixed. Obviously, I could probably give you some good advice. So love to hear your feedback on this. Thank you.